More than 1 lakh people in over 100 countries have been infected with the coronavirus. The World Health Organization says the threat of a pandemic has become very real. Here's all you need to know as to what this means and how a pandemic is different from an epidemic. Well, the specific criterion for a pandemic is not universally defined, but there are 3 general criteria. A virus that can cause illness or death, sustained person-to-person transmission of that virus, and evidence of spread throughout the world as well. Well, all of these have been true for COVID-19. So why has it not been termed pandemic as yet? Well, the WHO says that since there is still uncertainty about the disease's impact and most countries still have only a few cases and containment is not yet hopeless, the word pandemic isn't appropriate yet. However, WHO has already put out its highest level of alert, saying the world is at high risk. So what is the difference between pandemic and epidemic? Well, the Centers for Disease Control defines a pandemic as an epidemic that has spread over several countries or continents, usually affecting a large number of people, while an epidemic is an increase, often sudden, in the number of cases of a disease above what is normally expected in that population in that area. Outbreak also carries a similar definition of epidemic, but is often used for a more limited geographical area. Some of the recent pandemics in history include 2009, the H1N1 influenza that was deemed a pandemic. 1 in 5 people worldwide caught this disease, but it was not very deadly, with an overall mortality rate estimated at 0.02%. The 2002 SARS outbreak, primarily in China and in Hong Kong, though with cases around the world, had about a 10% mortality rate. But as the disease was swiftly contained, it was never a pandemic, and no cases have been reported anywhere in the world since 2004. The HIV or AIDS pandemic, which has truly proven a global pandemic, killing more than 36 million people since 1981. The 1968 flu, also called as the Hong Kong flu pandemic, resulted in deaths of more than 1 million people, including 5 lakh residents of Hong Kong, approximately 15% of its population at that time. So by the definition of a pandemic, we are at a tipping point. However, WHO officials have calmed the nerves by saying that COVID-19 would be the first pandemic in history that can be controlled and contained, and the bottom line is that we are not at the mercy of this virus.